What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back into JC's Pop Culture with me, JC, where you can see all kinds of pop culture content. Could be anything from trailer reactions to EA Sports college football news, or what we have today. And it's another DCU update, continuing to try and keep up with James Gunn's DCU as it progresses and shit in its development. Live action wise, going to be Superman 2025, the first film. Supposed to get Creature Commandos later this year to be kind of the kickstart of the universe there with the animated series of Creature Commandos. So that's super fun. But we've also got some projects coming down the line now that were kind of unexpected, I guess you could say. The Hollywood Reporter breaking this a couple days ago. So let's take a look. Looks like we'll get a look at the Teen Titans in the DCU before we get a look at the Justice League. Interestingly enough, a Teen Titans live action movie appears to be in the works, coming from the same person that is writing the Supergirl movie script as well. So let's check this article out here from the Hollywood Reporter. All right, as you can see there, the headline, and of course, as I said, Anna Noguera will write the screenplay. She's also writing the screenplay for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, as we recently learned, and I've shared on a previous DCU update here on the channel as well. But it's go time for the Teen Titans. The DC heroes, which began as the teenage sidekicks of their more famous and iconic counterparts, are getting their own live-action feature from the James Gunn and Peter Safran-led DC Studios. The comic book movie division of Warner Brothers Discovery has tapped Anna Noguera to pen the script for the project. The hiring further ensconces the actress and playwright turned scribe into the DC family. She's already writing Supergirl. So then they're just telling a little bit about the history of the Teen Titans there. Of course, through here now. See if they got. I'm just trying to see if they got any plot details or anything about what lineup we're getting here for this incarnation of the Teen Titans. Doesn't look like they have any information on this as far as other than it's in the works. They have a writer. They're seeking a director. So it's interesting, I guess, because it's a little bit unexpected, right? And that worries me somewhat when we're talking about Warner Brothers. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but I don't see any other details here. Obviously, we know the lineup usually traditionally Robin, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Raven, Starfire. So I'm sure there'll be some incarnation of that type of shit there for this version of the Teen Titans in live action. I know that there is the Titans live action series, which I got to be honest, I haven't watched a ton. I watched the first season and I enjoyed it. I just haven't continued on with it, but I need to pick that back up and try and finish that. I never really was too big into Teen Titans. It kind of came a little bit after, I guess, my time of reading comics and shit like that. Because I didn't really ever delve into it too much. I guess it was just me. I was like always more focused on the main characters. So it wasn't really until, the animated series a little bit, and then of course the live action series I really wanted to check out, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, I don't know why I didn't continue with it. Just one of those things where you almost freaking forget about it because there's just so much shit thrown at us on streaming and shit nowadays, right? Especially superhero wise. So unfortunately that's one I kind of forgot about, but I need to pick back up because I remember Superboy coming in. That's kind of the cliffhanger of season 1. Spoiler alert, so I'm sure he's there. As far as this is concerned, the only thing that they add here is they throw a little bit of Noguera's history here in at the bottom, a little bit of her background, which I've talked about in our previous video on Supergirl, known as an actress, mainly known for the Vampire Diaries and such, but she's really transitioned into writing, and I think the fact that they're giving her this script really tells me that her screenplay for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow must have blown away, James Gunn and Peter Safran and those in works there at DC Studios, because obviously, it's going to be her first kind of feature there, Supergirl, and if they're that impressed by the script that they're giving her something else, because these are big properties, we got to remember, guys, and important properties, a lot of money exchanging hands and shit, so definitely I think that she's obviously pretty much proven capable to them. The project is now seeking a director, it says, is how kind of wraps up in this article here on the Hollywood Reporter. So just to kind of wrap up with my thoughts here, the main thing that I want to add, I guess, or want to throw in is I mentioned a little bit about, I guess it being bittersweet and a little bit worrisome, just because we know in the past studio interference is what's fucked the DCU, right? It's what fucked the DCU under Zack Snyder, who had this brilliant plan. Maybe one day we'll go over it. I've got the original, outline storyboards or whatever that they shared, that would have been kind of the Justice League story that they were trying to tell, and it would have been fucking epic. But we know studio interaction fucked it up well before they could ever get to that point. Even before Justice League, it obviously BVS, they changed it a shit ton. The theatrical version didn't go over well because of it, because they needed the stuff that they cut out that you can find in the Ultimate Edition, and obviously the story of butchering Justice League and their handling of the DCU and mishandling of it, not allowing directors to complete their vision. You know, David Ayer still complaining about Suicide Squad and shit. Has been a Warner Brothers problem in the past. We know there's different people in charge now. We're hoping that they're being more hands-off and letting James Gunn have his vision. That's what they've told us. But the only reason that this worries me a little bit is because, you know, when this was first announced, James Gunn came out and said, hey, here's chapter 1. These are the things that we're doing in chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. And this wasn't involved in that. So it just makes me wonder, is this something that, you know, James Gunn and them found, hey, this, we're really incorporating these characters a little bit, or backdoor ways into these characters and some already established things that they're going to have coming out, whether it be Superman, Creature Commandos, or, you know, season 2 of Peacemaker, anything, which, you know, by the way, James Gunn said season 1 of Peacemaker, not canon to DCU, but season 2 will be. So maybe they saw that and said, oh, we could really, you know, springboard into a Titans, because I'm really fucking hoping that's what it is, that it's, you know, James Gunn and them organically coming to this decision, and it's not, you know, David Zaslav or whoever, you know, at Warner Brothers Discovery making a mandate, hey, we need to include these characters. Let's get a Teen Titans movie off the ground, include it into your universe right now. Because that's kind of what I worry about, obviously, when it's with Warner Brothers and their history and shit. So hopefully it's James Gunn, you know, and this is his choice to help, you know, with building this universe, because I have a ton of faith in James Gunn, as I professed here in the past, and I'm going to continue to follow the DCU in the lead up to all of these films. So this won't be our first update on the Teen Titans live action. Maybe we'll update it and its progression throughout here. Going to have a DCU updates playlist here on the channel. Already have a Superman updates playlist here on the channel, updating news in the release, you know, in the lead up to the release of Superman in 2025. Filming just kicked off for that shit, so hopefully those are going to be coming hot and heavy in the near future. I know James Gunn came out and said he doesn't want to reveal a look at the suit yet, because it's still, you know, over a year away from release, so maybe a little bit of time until we get that. But any news that does come out, I'll be covering it here on the channel. So if you're a fan of, you know, DCU, a fan of Superman, or a fan of superhero films in general, be sure to hop along for the ride here at JC's Pop Culture, where we talk about that a shit ton here, movies and TV shows wise, as well as comedy and horror. And then of course I'm also updating EA Sports College Football 25 and the lead up to the release of that video game. So if you made it this far, hit the thumbs up button. That helps a shit ton with the YouTube algorithm. And having said that, I appreciate you tuning into this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.